everybody that is attendee and seeing Zoom will see spotlight of Jules talking, right? And then so on and so forth. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. It is 7 o'clock now. Should we give at least say another minute for any latecomers before we start, or should we just go ahead? I don't know what are you saying yesterday. So
let's go for it. People are coming in. We're going to do the intros.
Let's go for it.
There we go. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining Town Hall or Ticketing Town Hall. We've got a great agenda today. We've got Jules over here. We'll be talking about ticketing and DDTs. Issa and Michaela will be talking about art. Robert and myself will be then talking about DMV. Cindy will be speaking about Anati tickets, and then we also have Lexi here who will be taking on any theme camp questions. All right. So before we wait any further, I'm gonna actually look out for Issa in the side here. But yes, Jules, please take it away.
Sure, take it away. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ticketing Town Hall. Great to see so many people interested in getting tickets to AfrikaBurn 2023. Okay, so basically to start off with, I'm going to give you a bit of a process, and I guess actually, Bash, before we start, should we just give all our attendees some instruction about asking a question and how we're going to run that whole thing?
That is a very good point right there. You'll have, as an attendee, the option to raise your hand. When you raise your hand, I'll see it on our screen here, and we'll notify anybody that needs to be to ask that question if you would like to be interrupted for that question. Or should we wait for questions afterwards? But as the hands raised, it will be in line of the in queue of the people raising their hands.
Okay, so what you'll do, Bash, is once people raise their hands, you will unmute them and they'll get to ask their question. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, okay. Yes.
Great. All right, yeah. So basically, welcome to the Ticketing Town Hall. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the sort of general how ticketing is going to work this year, and what the decisions we've made about DDTs, and then invite questions from you as to how things are going to work. And I imagine there's going to be some questions about the DDT process. All right, so basically at the moment we have May Day tickets on sale, as well as New Horizon tickets. May Day tickets are priced at, how much are they there? Always forget. May Day tickets are 4,999 and New Horizon tickets are 3,499 Rand. Now, May Day tickets are priced, they're obviously more expensive. They're donation-based tickets. So the difference between what a general sales ticket costs and the May Day ticket is a donation to AfrikaBurn. And the reason why we have these sort of very inflated tickets on sale is because we're able to put them on sale pretty quickly after the last event. And they're sort of aimed at the international market, where these tickets are affordable, mostly because of exchange rate. And the reason why we sort of came about doing May Day tickets was after the events in the past, we used to get mostly international people emailing us and asking us when they can buy tickets, and we were never ready because we always kind of do a whole budgeting process, figure out what the budget is, and then that's how we set the ticket price. So we're never ready to kind of have tickets on sale. And so then we thought, well, let's do these donation-based tickets, and then those international participants that want to come to AfrikaBurn can buy tickets at their leisure, and then they're able to then know that they've got a ticket to AfrikaBurn, so that they can start making their travel arrangements, getting visas, all sorts of things. So, and then what happened after May Days was we put the May Days on sale, and they are very expensive for the regular South African. They are donation based. And so we had a lot of few wealthier South Africans going, I want to buy a donation-based ticket, but the sort of 5,000 rand tickets are a bit too expensive for me. And that's when we decided to then make the New Horizon ticket, which is also donation-based, but it's a little bit cheaper than the Mayday. And those are on sale for, I guess, wealthier South Africans that want to buy them, or just wealthier participants that want to buy them. I think one of the misconceptions that's happening at the moment is that international people think that they have to buy the Maydays and that the New Horizon tickets are for South Africans. That's not the case. The thinking behind them was just to kind of cater towards a more local wealthy person, but anyone can buy any ticket, and any ticket will get you into the event. At the gate, we don't check ticket types against who you are. It's more just if you've got a ticket coming, if you've got a ticket, you are able to get into the event. Obviously, there are tickets that are means-based, which we will query at the gate if it looks a bit weird. Like if we see someone who seems to be rather wealthy checking in with an Anati ticket, for example, which is a means-tested ticket, we'll probably say something about that, but we haven't had that, so it shouldn't be a problem. Right. So the Mayday and New Horizons tickets have been on sale for quite some time. We've got 18 New Horizon tickets left, and we've got 629 Mayday tickets left. So they're ticking on quite nicely. We can probably expect quite a few internationals at this next event, which we always do enjoy. And then on the 2nd of November, which is next week, Wednesday at 12 o'clock, the general sales will open. We've got about 6,200 tickets that will go on sale then, so the pot is quite big. And those, how you buy those tickets, just sort of technically, is you have to go in and register yourself on Quicket, and you'll go through the acculturation questions. And then once you've done that, you'll then go through to the purchase process. If you want to register yourself, and we recommend that you do that, is that you go onto Quicket now. Registrations are open, and you can register yourself now, so that on Wednesday next week, you simply have to log into your Quicket account. Make sure you log into your Quicket account, otherwise your registration won't be recognized. Log into your Quicket account, and then you'll be able to go directly to go purchase tickets. From a sort of technical level, is that registration part of your ticket purchase process doesn't put you in the queue for buying tickets. So tickets might sell out while you're doing the registration, which is why we are encouraging you to register now and then log into your Quicket account on Wednesday, and then you can purchase tickets without having to do the registration. If you forget to do that, you can absolutely register on the day as well. So that's not a problem. So basically general sales open on the 2nd of November at 12 o'clock, and then they'll close on the 30th of November at 4 p.m. unless we sell out. If we sell out the general sales tickets, then of course that sale ends. Now on to kids tickets and minor tickets are also available in that general sale, and that purchase process, one thing that is takes a little bit more time is that you're going to need to download the parent and guardian form, the indemnity form, and sign that, and then attach it to your purchase. So just keep that in mind if you're buying for kids or minors. So minors are anyone under 18, and kids are anyone under 17. All right, so those going to be on sale from next week. And then once they sell out, they sell out. Now, getting onto DDTs, we've decided this year to take away DDTs, but it's not all bad news. But I want to just explain why we came to that decision. So what I've found in the past is that, no, hold on, let me actually backtrack. Why did we introduce DDTs into AfrikaBurn ticketing? And the reason why we introduced DDTs into AfrikaBurn ticketing was back in the day where we were, I don't know if anyone was there in that day, we would sell I think it was about 2,000 tickets, and the event was really, really popular, and we used to sell out within 30 seconds. And the one year we sold out very, very quickly. And suddenly what we found was that there was a whole bunch of creative contributors that came to us, and they didn't have tickets for the event. So they had this beautiful project, but no tickets to the event. So we had to then make tickets available to those creative projects. And that's how we started the whole DDT process. What we then landed up finding was that the more tickets we made available for the burns, the less use of DDTs were made, because there were so many tickets available in the general sale. We found that a lot of people were going to the general sale and buying their tickets there, and it puts us as the organization into a bit of a tricky sort of situation, because we're allocating all these DDTs out, and we're needing to put sort of deadlines, because there's quite a sort of admin intense process linked to DDTs, and we were finding that there was a lot of kind of tickets being allocated, but none of them were being purchased. And then what would happen is that the deadline would come to purchase the tickets, and the deadline would come and go. And then eventually we'd have tickets available to us sort of much closer to the event. And we would then put those into the general sale. But at that point, the sort of hype to get tickets was over. And I imagine that the people that had decided not to come because they couldn't get tickets had decided not to come anyway. So a lot of people lost out. And then the people that did get tickets, because the deadlines were always kind of quite close to the event, they were always the kind of people that just rock up. They don't have time to prepare a lovely project or anything for the event. So what we were finding was that there was starting to become more creep of a lot more creep of spectators at the event. Because suddenly the sort of leftover DDTs we'd put into the general sale pot, and those would be the people that would buy them, the kind of lastminute.com people. So our other experience of the DDTs was that I found that a lot of creative projects would spend a long time allocating their DDTs out, making sure that people buy the DDTs, and then their crew wouldn't buy DDT in time, and the deadline was passed, and so their code would be not valid anymore, and and so then they would then email us, and we would then have to revalidate that code, and it sort of gets quite messy. So we thought, why don't we take away DDTs this year, make sure that the pot is quite big, the general sales pot, and just get everyone, and just encourage all the creative projects to get their crews to buy their tickets in the general sales, which start in November. It will be a lot less admin, mostly for the crews, but also for the AfrikaBurn organization, because what I find is that as we're all kind of packing up to go to the desert to go set up shop there, that's when people start having their ticket issues, and it's this back and forth, and people don't know whether they'll have a ticket, and they arrive at the gate without their tickets sorted out, and it becomes quite stressful. So I guess our reason for kind of taking away DDTs this year is to take away that stress and to take away that admin. If you're a theme camp lead, tell your crew to go and buy a ticket in the general sale, instead of relying on a bunch of A, requesting your DDTs, B, getting your allocation, C, allocating your tickets out, which is, providing name, email address, ID, cell number, and then pushing your people to buy their tickets. It's quite a lengthy process. And so that's some kind of the idea behind DDTs. Having said that, we definitely aren't, if we find ourselves we don't know what's going to happen in the next general sale. There's a lot of people that think that it's going to sell out immediately. I can never figure out what's going to happen. I always seem to be getting it wrong. It might not. We might have a frenzy for the first sort of 3,000 tickets on the day of the sale, and then it trickles on up until the 30th of November. I don't know. But what we do have is that we do have a safety net of DDTs available for creative projects, registered creative projects that may not get their hands on a ticket in the general sale. But that's also limited. So we encourage creative leads to tell their crew to go get their tickets in the general sales, and we will definitely help people that don't get a ticket if we sell out to get to the burn, because obviously the creative projects are, we are definitely going to look after you, but we are trying to kind of minimize the admin around that. So that's the whole sort of shtick on DDTs. They are just in terms of subsidized tickets. The subsidized tickets application window has closed. Those were open for 3 months. And everyone who got a subsidized or applied for a subsidized ticket will be told within the next kind of 2 or 3 days whether or not they were successful. And if you weren't successful, then of course you still have the opportunity to buy a ticket in the general sales on Wednesday next week. So we're going to be informing all the subsidized tickets next week. And just so you know, sorry, not next week, this week. To just explain what the subsidized ticket program is that the subsidized ticket is a ticket which is subsidized by the burn. The ticket cost is $999, and it's basically open to, or it was open to, people with low incomes, students, people with a startup, perhaps who is kind of struggling to get financially to the point of comfortable financial situation, single parents, all those sort of things. And it's all motivation. People would send through their motivation. They also have to send bank statements, that kind of stuff. And then I've got a subsidized ticket review company who then look into it and review each application and then decide whether or not to get a subsidized ticket. So those are subsidized tickets. Unfortunately, the applications have closed, and everyone who applied for a subsidized ticket will get told in the next 2 days. The other tickets that we've got are artist tickets, but I'll let the creative portfolio talk to those. And that's basically it. One other ticket that I think is worth mentioning is that we've got a Care Bear ticket, and the Care Bear ticket is it's basically if you've got someone who's differently abled who needs a carer to come to the burn to help them, then you can email info@AfrikaBurn and you'll speak to Tim, and Tim will sort of vet you, and then we can allocate a Care Bear ticket. If you are over 70 years old, you can email tickets@AfrikaBurn with a copy of your ID, and we will then verify that you are indeed over 70 years old, and then we will allocate you a pensioner ticket. Then I need to talk about scamming. So, something that is rife in I think it's just everywhere, is tickets sold on scam websites. Viagogo is a very big one. In fact, if you search AfrikaBurn tickets in Google, Viagogo comes up first, and then AfrikaBurn comes up second. Game day tickets too is also a bad one. And it is absolutely heartbreaking when people arrive at the gate and they've been scammed out of their money, and they've always paid far too much money. What these scammers are doing is that they're buying vehicle passes and they're selling them as tickets to AfrikaBurn. And so basically the rule is, if you do not buy your ticket on Quicket, then look, if you're going onto an official site, let's put it that way, then you definitely are getting scammed, because we are not selling tickets on any other website. After the general sales, we will open the resales function, where people who want to resell their tickets are able to put their tickets up for resale, and that's also happening on Quicket. So if you see any resales happening anywhere else, rather just leave them alone, rather come to Quicket. There will definitely be resale tickets on there. And it's just basically, if it's not coming off Quicket, then it's probably a scam. If you are buying tickets from someone you know and trust, then you must just ask that person to go into their Quicket account and transfer the ticket into your name. There's a whole sort of function there where that person clicks on his or her ticket, and they say transfer tickets, and then what happens is that the original barcode is cancelled and a new barcode is generated and sent to you, and you download the ticket. So that's another way of making sure that your ticket is valid. Generally, if you ask the person who's selling, if you don't know the person who's selling you the ticket and you ask them to go and do that transfer and they refuse to, you're probably getting scammed as well. So please just be very, very careful about that. Some tickets last year were sold for tens of thousands of rands. It was terrible. Just take a deep breath before buying tickets and just make sure that it's legit. And if it's kind of readily available and too good to be true, it's probably not true if we sell out. So I'm just looking at the questions. I think that's pretty much it. I'm wondering if there's any questions from the audience. Will Creative Crews be allocated vehicle passes? Yes, they will. So please, Creative Crews, if you've got your crew, tell them, and they need to buy their ticket, tell them not to buy their vehicle pass when they buy their ticket, because we'll more than likely allocate registered Creative Crews a batch of vehicle passes. So the one thing about that is that we cannot give refunds for vehicle passes that were bought erroneously. So please just hold off on buying vehicle passes. Vehicle passes are generally on sale up until the event. And the other thing is that you can buy vehicle passes at the gate. So if you're a Creative Crew, please just tell that to your people. Last year, okay, so Vasti's asking for perspective, how many tickets were on sale last year? Can you, sorry man, I was
in the general sale, it was 1,600.
1,600, and then I think
the general sale.
Yeah, in the general sale.
And so overall, it was 6,500.
6,500, yeah.
In total.
Yeah, and that sold out very quickly. But in the general sale, obviously, we only opened the general sale very late. We had quite a few. Yeah, anyway, that's how much we had, 6,000 tickets in total. So this year I think it's probably important to talk about ticket numbers at the burn and how we come up with the decision of how many tickets to sell. So basically, a lot of people ask, like, you've got this big land, it's massive, why don't you just sell thousands and thousands of tickets? And we could absolutely do that. We do have the space. But firstly, there's two reasons to it. The human scaffold, the sort of AfrikaBurn team, the rangers, sanctuary, and then the core kind of AfrikaBurn team. It takes a lot to manage people out in the desert for a week. And so we need to make sure that the human scaffold is strong enough to be able to control the amount of people that we can have on site. So that's one thing. It can get quite hectic and out of control if we don't have enough support on site. The other thing is it's very important, as you know, AfrikaBurn is a community. It's what you guys bring the things to the burn that create the event. And the moment you start having less contributors and more spectators, the balance goes out. And events that don't have enough creative, creative things, theme camps, artworks, whatever, even volunteers, if you've got too many spectators, it really loses the sort of the essence of why we do this thing. So for us, we need to grow the event kind of quite gradually, because we need to make sure that balance remains. And we don't want to be a victim of our own success. We don't want to suddenly put 15,000 people on, sell 15,000 tickets, and then only have sort of 30% of those people actually contributing to the event. So we are growing it this year. We definitely are making sure that the human scaffold, that the organization can actually support an event this size. Because during COVID, a lot of people left, so we're trying to build up our team again. But they're definitely sort of moving on. When we do have a more robust team, we'll definitely grow it gradually to make sure that that there's enough contributors, as well as we'll always have spectators. But yeah, definitely making sure we have enough contributors. So then this year, just in terms of the amount of tickets that we're selling, is that we agreed as a team that we don't want to have more than about 9,000 people on site. So we'll sell a little bit more tickets than that, because there's always drop off. We'll put a little bit more of those tickets on sale, because there's also a lot of tickets that get allocated and not actually used, but also there's drop off of people that don't come to the event. But comfortably, we only aiming to have about 9,000 people at the event this year. Okay, Lindy. Okay, so Lindy, you say it's impossible to get tickets and you've tried many times at exactly the time stipulated. What can I do to secure tickets? So I guess what you need to do, Lindy, is you just need to make sure, firstly, I would register before. So go on to Cricket later tonight and register yourself. At 10 to 12 o'clock on Wednesday next week, log into Cricket. Make sure you're logged in, because then your registration's recognized. And then just make sure that you're online at that moment. And what we are introducing this year is that we're going to have a queuing system, which means that you can go in, you'll be get put into a queue, and then they'll be letting people in 200 people a minute. So that's kind of just to safeguard the system and make sure it doesn't fall flat in its face, but it also does make it a bit fair. So I think, Lindy, just be there at the right time. Don't get there sort of a week late if you really, really want to get tickets. But the other thing you can do is you can also, sorry, I'm getting thrown off here by thingy sharing your screen. You can also, if you really want to secure a ticket, you can consider buying a New Horizon ticket, which is on sale at the moment, or a Mayday ticket, which is on sale at the moment. So one of the things about those very inflated price tickets is that you are able, like they're inflated, and I guess you are paying for the privilege of being able to buy tickets without a frenzy ticket sale. So that would be my suggestion. Either be there at exactly the right time, or you can opt in to buy the more expensive price tickets, which are on sale at the moment. And then Ray's been asking, how does ticketing manage address pay for play camps, plug and play camps? Okay, so plug and play camps are a problem. And how we manage that in terms of tickets is that we do only sell 2 tickets at a time. Which means that usually these plug and play camps, which they kind of offer like a concierge service, we can get you your ticket, we can get you your outfits and your water and your aircon and bedding and all sorts of things. So a lot of the time people actually contact, people contact us and they say, we've got a group of people that want to come and can we have 50 tickets? And so we shut it off right there. Absolutely not. Tell all those people to go off and buy their own tickets. And then we start engaging with those people as well. We don't just tell them that and then stop engaging with them. We really try and kind of switch them before they even decide to make the camp. The other thing is that when they do project registrations, the theme camp committee, and maybe Lexi, you can come in here if you feel comfortable. Lexi's our new theme camp coordinator. But there's a theme camp committee that sort of look at all the theme camp registrations, and they try and flag whether or not camps are plug and play. And if that's the case, then they don't allow the camp to register. And if you aren't registered, you don't get an allocation of DDTs. Then later on in the process, there's work access passes, which are allocated to theme camps or creative projects coming to the Burn. And work access passes, if some of you know, are passes that allow you to enter the event early. So before gates open on Monday, the 24th. And that's often where we stop plug and play camps from coming in, because we just don't allow them setup time, I guess. They need to arrive with all the punters on Monday if they're going to set one up. But the theme camp committee work very, very hard to try and stop them from coming at all. So I don't know, Lexi, do you want to come in here and comment on anything there?
Yeah, I think you've covered everything, Julia. I think up until the time of the event, we're always just looking out for any signs of plug-and-play camps and doing what we can to limit it up until the event. So, yeah, all the things you mentioned.
Okay, cool. Then has our website server crashed in the past? It has in the very, very early days when we were selling out in 30 seconds. But we've definitely learned from that. Quicket, make their website hugely robust, and as does AfrikaBurn. So hopefully we won't. And I think the queuing system also helps with that. But we definitely are tooling up so that doesn't happen on Wednesday. And then you're asking, is your Quicket registration your burner bio? It isn't. It isn't at this stage, but it's exactly the same sort of information that we used to ask in the burner bio. I guess just a little less information. So the burner bio was an incredible thing, which requires a lot of IT development. And because we're overhauling our website at the moment, and our IT team isn't where it should be in order to develop a thing like a burner bio, we aren't. The burner bio still exists, but we aren't using it in terms of tickets. So you don't have to create a burner bio to get a ticket. You just need to register on Quicket to get a ticket at this stage. And when our IT team is a bit more capacitated, we're definitely going to start bringing the burner bio back. So if any of you are IT specialists and want to get involved with that project, please email info@afrikaburn.com, and I'm sure we'll definitely use your skill. Eve, we're going to do a camp 5 p.m. activation, but won't last more than about an hour. Is this considered a theme camp? Lexi, do you want to step in here?
Sure, yeah, it definitely does depend on what you're going to do. Is it every day at 5 p.m.? But go ahead and register, and you can do that on tribe.afrikaburn.com and let us know what you're planning, and then we'll see, I think.
Yeah, so I guess like the thing with theme camps, I guess, is that you should register anyway, because then you get all the communications from the theme camp committee. There's a lot of support that come from the AfrikaBurn organization, from the theme camp committee. There's a lot of support. Your theme camp and your 5 p.m. gift is in the what the fuck guide. So it pays. It pays to register. So even if you don't think your gift is very big, it still is a great gift, and it's worth registering.
Can I step in quickly on here?
Yeah.
Just for general information as well for Eve and anyone else, we also have a thing called Binnekreen events. So a theme camp has quite a lot of requirements, and then requires placement and this and that and that. So if you have a thing happening in the Binnekreen, like once in a bit or whatever, in whatever you want, as many times as you want, you can do that. Just register a Binnekreen event. That won't give you a placement unless you need to, unless the specific needs. You can go and camp wherever you want, and then just set up your thing. That has way less obligations. And you can apply for a creative grant if you register a Binnekreen event.
Yeah, do we have anyone that wants to put their hand up and use their voice to ask questions? So it's not just us. I think Robert, is that Robert? That's not Robbie Weineck. And I can see that you are permitted to talk. Paul, can we unmute Paul?
Okay, there's Paul Cohen. Yeah, let's go for Paul Cohen. Allowed to talk.
Unmute Paul.
Hello.
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, there was a lot of talk in the camp leads meetings and stuff building up to the event about possible storage on site and stuff like that. So I just wanted to find out if anything has come of that, or if that's not looking like a possibility anymore, or any kind of update.
Issa, do you know the answer to this at all?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
They were talking about storage on site.
Yeah, there was discussions around it, and nothing kind of got finalized. And we said we'll chat later. So I just thought I'd check if there has been any progress, or if it's not looking like a possibility anymore.
Yeah, like that old chestnut. Eventually we had to move on it. So there is storage on site. There's quite a lot of rules around it. What are you planning? Are you a theme camp, an artwork? What is it that you want to store there?
Yeah, I think you are a theme camp, Paul.
Okay.
So I think, Paul, the best thing to do is to email.
Send us an email.
Yeah, what's your email address, Issa? Which would be the best one?
It could be art@AfrikaBurn.
Art@AfrikaBurn, and talk about storage, and then we can take that offline. But there's definitely a plan brewing. We just need to sort of finalize the details. There's a whole thing about how you need to store it. Should it be in a container? The container needs to be painted. It's all kind of need to be. There's no update, I guess, but we are working on a plan. Eve?
Hi, I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Hi, guys. Sorry, I can't figure out how to put my camera on. Thank you so much for making this time. It really is very valuable. I came to the Burn quite a few years ago, and I'm going to have my 50th there, and many of the people that are coming are like brand new burners. So I'm trying to just facilitate some questions that they've got, and I've also obviously told them they have to go and do their own reading. But thanks for the bio stuff, and also the registering and potentially in the Binnekring. It's basically 5 o'clock fist bumps, which is a espresso coffee and a tequila. So it's really simple, and we're going to do it every day until we run out of tequila. So that's all we're doing. It's not a big complicated thing, and we'll figure out other build things to do fun stuff around it. But just a question, and I'm sorry, it's because I've got you here, which is so valuable. Yeah. I wanted to ask something. I had a really great idea for an art installation, but I just got quite overwhelmed with trying to figure out how to build it and get it there and all of that, because I'm Joburg based.
All right.
And I was wondering if it still makes sense to consider it, and whether I should just reach out to somebody and tell them what it is, and maybe if they've had experience, they could say, well, actually, it's not as hard as you think. Yes,
it's a you go.
The answer is definitely yes. Any time to apply for an art grant if you would like to.
Okay, great. I mean, that may not necessarily be necessary to get an art grant, but I definitely need support in terms of figuring out the logistics around it, and that's what's overwhelming there. But who can I reach out to?
Just so you know, Issa built how big was Subterfuge, Issa?
It was very big, but wide.
It was like 20. How many meters high? Anyway,
the highest point was 30 meters.
30 meters. So Issa and her partner at the time built a 30-meter sculpture in the desert, and so she's definitely your person.
Oh yay! Issa, I would love to chat to you. I mean, my challenge is I work in a corporate job, so I may also not be able to take all the time to come and build and all of that. I could probably build it before, but then to transport and put it together might be an issue. But I would love to just explore it.
Well, there are many. There is no one right way of doing it. Each crew has their own set of circumstances. So just let us know, and that's our job.
Okay, fantastic. If you can tell me how I contact you, then I will put it together as an idea.
Art@AfrikaBurn. Art.
Yeah.
@AfrikaBurn.
Yeah.
And then and we take it from there.
Great. .coza, hey?
.com.
.com. Okay. Perfect. Yay! I'm excited. Awesome. Maybe it can happen.
Definitely do it.
Oh, yay. Okay. Cool. That's great. You guys are amazing, by the way. It takes so much to organize something like this, and I'm pretty sure this isn't your day job.
It definitely is.
Just to interject there, sorry, Jules. In terms of logistics from Johannesburg, just wanted to give Eve a tip there, that there is a group that so prior to the time, or I suppose after the whole grant application process and so forth, if you enjoy it also, there's going to be an adjudication process that takes place, which is kind of like our little art hub meeting that takes place in Johannesburg. And a lot of the guys that are building or creating sculptures and art as well from Johannesburg will be there. And so prior to the time, we also do formulate a group where we all communicate in terms of transportation. So you'll see that people are looking for partners to drive down with. There are crews that have workshop in their building. They're guys, and we've started this sort of, the whole art sluts movement has also sort of grown. And so guys are actually art slutting as well in Joburg, where they'll go to one guy's place and help build there on the one weekend.
Amazing.
So just look out for when we do the art adjudication process. Issa will talk about that later on. And then you can come and check out and meet a couple of the guys as well. And I'll be there. We can, and then as soon as the information, so people start, doing the logistics and the movement, I can certainly link you up with a couple of people to give you a hand.
That's amazing. And who's that? That's not Issa. I can't see your face. Sorry.
Oh, it's me. It's Cindy.
Spotlight Cindy.
Yeah, so I'm like sort of a Joburg volunteer coordinator here. I run Chillers. Yeah, I run Chillers, which is the old off-center camp, OCC. And I do a lot of workshops here in Johannesburg as well, which I'll let you know.
Oh, yay, because it always looks like Cape Town's doing everything. Yay. Okay, amazing.
Okay, cool.
And where do I find out information about your workshops in Joburg?
So I'll just pop you, my email address is Cindy with the S, SINDY, at AfrikaBurn.com. And so you can just email me as well. And then, or so that, I could just loop you in to with the program that's going to be happening in Joburg.
Yeah, I'm so glad I came to this call. Awesome.
Yeah, and I'll share it with Brian as well. So it will be in the bar together and the newsletters as we do things. So look out for the information in our newsletters as well.
Awesome. I wish I could figure out how to switch my camera on. That would be a good start. Be surprised when you meet me.
Okay, cool.
Cindy, do you want to go into a Natty tickets? Sorry, I realized I missed that off.
Well, I could, although there was a kind of a queue of people, but I could go because I think it dovetails off of another ticketing process. Okay. Yeah, all so right. I can just quickly do that.
Sorry, just quickly, Clara, her hand is up.
Hey, but I can wait if you want to. Hi, everyone. Super good to be here as well and connecting with you. I'm calling from Portugal and connecting through a team with in Maputo. But if you want to go through the ticketing first, Cindy, I'm happy to wait. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, do you want to quickly touch on the Natty tickets just so that people know, and then there's also some questions that we can answer.
Yes. Okay. All right. So.
Just while. All right. No, go ahead.
No, not a problem. I'm just saying that I'm going to start a slide, and you guys I'll share my screen. And it's a small little slideshow. Just let me know if you guys can see it.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So
and now it's full screen. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. So the Anati ticket is also a form of a subsidized ticket. And so that's why it sort of dovetails on what Julia was saying. The Anati ticket sort of recognizes the disparity in South Africa in terms of and acknowledges marginalized individuals. And it's part of our sort of inclusive approach to say, there's a lot of arts that's happening in townships, in rural areas in South Africa. And to also just get that sort of that voice coming through, so we encourage sort of participation, and we go out to some of the, not to evangelize at all, but to actually give information, because it's often difficult for someone who's never been to AfrikaBurn to even imagine what it's like. So we go and have workshops, and we talk about AfrikaBurn and this creative process and kind of what it entails and how to participate. So we are going to start the Anati, which is, so we call it Anati because Anati means with us. So it's a word to let people know also that you might be getting or applying for this ticket, but you are welcome and included at AfrikaBurn. So that's why we call it Anati. And they're not Anati people, it's a Nati program and it's a Nati tickets. All right. Okay, so our application process starts again on the 2nd of November. So to cruise and ends in Jan. Okay, so giving it enough time, but and we'll have an adjudication process. And we are looking to provide 300 Anati tickets, but there is a grant process in there within that process as well, where you've got students or people that really don't earn an income, or the income is sort of disparate they're in between meals and stuff, but they really want to participate. So what we do is to provide like a grant to help out towards food, and towards food, water, and then of course, but people do also bring their own bottles, are encouraged to also bring their own bottles of water. And also just towards the fuel costs, or there is a bus that we put together for people that there is no vehicle in sight for them to come with. In Joburg, we do a lot of resource pulling where guys, well, if one has a car, they all hitch on, maybe squeeze 5 guys in. Sometimes we speak to other artists as well that are creating that are happy to have somebody ride along with them. They're coming down to Cape Town or to Tankwa. And so we do look out for artists and creatives who are willing to resource pool. Okay, so all the tickets will be purchased by the 28th of February, and then the agreements are going to be sent out by the 17th of March, okay? And then the grants get paid no later than the 8th of April, but it's usually way before then. The Anati ticket and access grant application form this year looks like this, and it's actually so great because previously we've just gotten a stream of names via a spreadsheet, and I'd have a Josie, Northern Cape spreadsheet, and Lorraine would have a Western Cape one, and we pull it together. But this is really great what the team, the IT guys, CIA guys put together. So thank you so much, Tim and crew. So yeah, it's just a simple, your name, your email address, and then step 2 is really, really important, because yes, we need to understand that, yes, are you permanent living in South Africa, are you African or South African? That you understand it's means tested, and that's what we do ask for, is one to supply a proof of income via either it's a bank statement that proves, listen, there's no money here, or your paycheck or something, just to show that really you are applicable to this ticket, because we really want to make sure that people that really need the opportunity get the opportunity. And so and then you understand that you're representing disadvantaged or disenfranchised participants. And then you understand the circumstances of how you are actually getting this ticket, right? And also that the grants, if you do get a grant, because we do get crews. So for instance, we see about 5 to 10 different crews, some of which form parts of chillers, and they come from different parts of the country, or different parts of Africa, actually, of South Africa and Africa. And so maybe there'll be a crew of 5 or a crew of 10 or crew. So we have little crew leads just to manage the logistics thereof. So people must just be aware of that when they are applying with these crew in mind, that you're applying for you and your crew, and we're limiting that number to about 15 people, to 15 in a crew this year, to manage the number of applicants this year. So you can't sell, and a ticket cannot be sold or passed to another participant. Also, with these tickets, there still is a quick hit process. So this process that you're doing is, yes, I've encouraged all the crew leads that I've spoken to, from Tshwane Art Hub, from Budagiba Africa, from Vosloo, from the Northern Cape, all these different arts communities that we're talking to that are coming to participate. What I have spoken to them about, that those crew leads at least need to register a burner buyer, and so that's the process that we're in now. A lot of people are registering the burner buyer so that they can register their performances. They can see other things that other performances, so they can register their performances and understand what's going in. Particularly that we need to put some of the performances and things into the WTF guide. Okay, so the tickets, so your tickets can't be sold. So there will be a cricket process, but yes, you cannot sell your ticket. The only thing that you can do is to transfer the name, to somebody else. But that process still does not renege you from us testing the means of the application. So you can't now suddenly get a ticket because you marginalized that you have a friend that wants to go. No, you still have to submit that person's information before the time, so that we're not having a process of people just getting a free, a severely subsidized ticket because they want to come to AfrikaBurn and have a party. All right. So who and what are you applying for? So it will just be your standard details. I've told people, please also, yes, for all your crews. So in the meantime, a lot of crews, what I've spoken to them about is to please make sure that they've got all the cell phone numbers, email addresses, ID numbers for their crews as well. And then, yes, you're going to upload a proof of income per person that you are applying for within your crew. So it's not going to be one blanket income statement for a crew lead, every single person, and we are going to be looking at this information. Should you not be able to provide it, it may hinder. You may be able to get a ticket to participate, maybe, but you may not get welfare or transportation or access to any or possible camping resources, right? So we look at, also with this proof of income, we do look at if someone is applicable for ticket, welfare, or any financial contribution, okay? And then, yes, again, you for each person, you just say next, and then the same details go on and on and on. And as again, we've limited to 15 people per crew. I'm encouraging slightly less, so that there are more tickets available for other people in other provinces as well. I've asked people, just if you put it on a spreadsheet, it makes it easier for you to click it and put it. If you're a crew, you'd have a general or a joint motivation as to why you're coming to AfrikaBurn. What we are looking to do is to make sure that what is the crew contributing when they come into AfrikaBurn? Because we're trying to, as Juliet said, we're trying to make sure that the balance in the spectators, participants, and the creatives that are coming. So and why would this crew need support? Okay, another thing that we are encouraging, that the grant is not how can I put it? It's not a bonanza. It's not that you're getting everything for free. And the cost thereof, it's 100 Rand per person for a meal per day. It is, and then there is, and you either get a spot on the bus, or you get some. We look at the means of how people can travel, and we try to support them with a travel grant if they're coming outside of the Western Cape province, and that is also a small nominal fee. So what we are asking guys to do is to pull together, come together, try and get a combi, try and get something that so that you can support each other. But most importantly, we are also getting crews, or reminding or conscientizing crews to stockfell. Stockfelling is a South African term of every month we put money together, and then that helps us to purchase things and other resources, or to contribute towards something. So we're asking crews to fundraise, to have a little chisanyama activities, bring a DJ, like whatever you can do to fundraise. So we are asking teams to fundraise and to stockpiles. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, the applications open on the 1st of November. Anybody with any questions can email illuminati@afrikaburn.com, or you can email myself, Cindy, at afrikaburn.com. And that is it from me. Yeah, and then the tickets are 259 Rand per person. However, when you go to Cricket and you're purchasing that ticket on Cricket, there often is a 10 Rand fee per ticket. 5 to 10 Rand fee, you must look at it. So the ticket ends up being about 260 or 262. So just be cognizant that when you go through a Cricket process, and we'll obviously guide you when you make that process. I will do a workshop on how to Cricket. And how to purchase your ticket on Cricket, particularly for the Anatu cruise. So I will do that in due course. Yeah, and that's it. So make sure make sure that all the crew leads, as Julia said, register on Cricket as well, because they will follow a Cricket process. Register your burner bio. So register your performance on our website, and fill in your tickets and participate. Yes, and then another thing that for each person also. What I'm going to ask crew to do as well is just also to let us know how your crews are also going to be volunteering as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Cindy, for that. We have Clara still with her hand up, and another person named Vasti. I'm adding you on there too. Clara, your question.
Thank you. I loved, by the way, the email Illuminati. Super fun, made me laugh. Well done, and super good that you are also opening the doors to people who with lower income. That's super cool. My question is actually, I thought of a project and I am writing something up, but I would need to be applying for a grant. So I would like to ask how the whole process of the grant works, especially with this whole ticketing that the crews need to buy ticket. I am a bit confused now at how that could work. So since the deadline.
Right, Clara, that's I'm guessing you asking for an art grant.
Yes.
Right. I think Issa and Michaela will be able to assist on that.
Yeah.
Are we going to take those questions now, or should we wait for your presentation and then you can take the question then? Michaela's shaking head with Issa.
I'm ready to answer, but I've been talking to Clara for a while.
Hi, Issa. Nice to see you.
And then finally Clara made a proposal, and we just haven't had the chance to chat with each other yet, but it's in the radar. My answer now, Clara, is a general answer that's applicable to everyone, is that yes, now crews do have to buy a ticket because, well, everybody is doing something. Like AfrikaBurn is a participant-created event, so it's either volunteering or doing an artwork or doing something else. If that's everybody's doing something, so everybody's buying a ticket. We have a thing called artist tickets that is allocated with the creative grants. So it's an outcome decision. It's done during the assessment process. So if you do apply for, which you will apply for a creative grant, then you might, it's not a guarantee, I'm not promising you, because it's an assessment, obviously, you might get an artist ticket.
And then if you don't, you have those DDT tickets that you were talking about, because the thing opens first. So yes, that's the confusion because of the deadlines.
Yes, okay, we have a solution for that. Imagine that. We do still urge everyone to buy a general sale ticket. So as soon as you can, you go. When they open, you go. You buy a ticket. If you do get allocated an artist ticket, which is cheaper, considerably cheaper, we can. And if you already have the full price ticket, we can refund you the difference of the ticket. You can give your ticket to someone else. Pass it on, you can transfer that, or if all your team has the tickets already, then we can refund you the difference.
Okay. And
this
should
answer.
you post first? Yes. Should you post first the idea within the project and then apply for the grant, or do you do both at the same time?
Well, you have to. You sent me your idea, and I'm gonna ask you, and I can do it now, but I still was gonna talk to you. I'm gonna ask you. The first thing you have to do is to register your project on our Thrive system, and that will give you the opportunity to then. Well, actually, first you need to register a collective, then you register an artwork, and then you apply for a grant.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask the questions here for everyone, because there might be people who have the same question as me, and so I thought it would be. But thank you so much, and we'll definitely be in touch to arrange the rest of the details.
We'll speak tomorrow.
Yes, perfect. Obrigada.
Nada.
Thank you for that, Clara Vasti. Your question, please.
Hey guys. Quick question. The registration on Quicket, right? Is it as simple as 4 ticks? Because I tried it while we were on the line, and that feels like it's almost too simple.
Chat to Brian about that. He wanted to simplify it.
Yeah,
then we love you, Brian.
Yeah. Did you read the questions and tick the right answers?
Sweetheart, I've been doing it for years, so yes.
Good, good.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
this
but
is Brian. Less is
I...
more in Brian's eyes.
So when we brief the team, it's as simple as 4 ticks. You don't want any more detail than that. That's great news. Okay, thank you.
No, brief the team and say really engage with the questions, and then consider your tick, and then tick.
Make double sure there's trick questions in there.
There's going to be a test at the gate. So
okay, and if I may, Ava, the Joburg team, we do burning bars and all of those stuff. So it's a really cool crowd to connect with. If you want to get in touch with me, you're welcome to do so as well. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Yes. So what we'll do now is move on to the next agenda, and that is with Issa and Michaela onto arts again. Michaela, I'll go on spotlight with Issa. Let's go for, are you guys ready?
Hi, yes. We trying to share a screen now. Michaela is going to share his screen. Okay.
Okay, cool. I've brought her on there. Sweet.
Hi.
I might need to mute myself on one side, which is Issa's side, and speaker off as well.
All right. Okay, so I'm making a disclaimer here, which is none of these artworks are credited, nor the artists, because, and the idea is precisely that. It could be anyone. I chose 3 random examples from 3 people. 3 art crews. And the idea is that...
Esther, can you hear us? Unfortunately,
you can imagine it. You can make it.
A lot
as it says on the website in this first thing. So, and Michaela is going to go not passing. Okay. Okay. So I don't know. This is an example of a proposal proposed by someone, by a crew who had never done an artwork, but they imagined it, and that's what they sent us. You can pass it on. This is another example. I don't know if you are recognizing these artworks, but this is what we first got from the creative crews. and that's now a different one. And from there, where you can see to the next slide that Michael is now passing, as it's in this case was a very quick one. This whole artwork it was very quick to make. It was made by one of the artists that has been going since ever. He's experienced. He has done like all the things. He knows how to do this. So still, it's not reserved to those, because we can move the slide now. It still takes work from one, and now the next one. Okay, so now this is an artwork from someone who proposed this, and this person has never done an artwork before, and but she had, and it's a woman, by the way, she had an idea, and she was brave, and she sent us this, and we took it and we spoke to her, and we didn't build it for her, we just guided to the next point, and 2 years later she had this. I'm sure you remembered it. And this. So from that little sketch in a from someone who can't even draw properly to making a spectacular burn, like it's possible. And so this one, I don't know if you recognize which one it is. This is a recent one. This artwork became this. This artwork was proposed for 2020 when we got cancelled. And then, so it didn't happen. And I never heard from them again. Well, we were in touch, but then suddenly, from out of nowhere, they appeared with in 2022 with this, and it looked like this, and it was spectacular, and it just went beautifully. Here's we're going to show now. Okay, what I want to say with this is that if you can imagine it, you can make it. Then the AfrikaBurn is not the traditional art gallery. We love seeing beautiful art, obviously. We don't. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be an artist. We love seeing more than seeing beautiful art. We love seeing people getting out of their comfort zone and doing something, and bringing community together and applying themselves and exploring and being brave and be there to help you. So anything you want. We don't tell you what to do. We can guide you in give you assistance in for you to make what you want to do and actualizing your vision. You have, although we do advise, there's a few things. You can if you don't have any idea now, you don't have to. You can just rock up in Tankwa at the end of April and bring your thing with you, and we'll help you still, and you can just go and put your artwork on. That blocks you from a few things, so you'll miss out all the information that we'll be sending out before, where we can share resources, share advice and tickets, art grants. If you're planning a sound stage, or if you're planning to burn your artwork, then you definitely have to register your art. You don't have to, but we do advise you to register it. The good news now, we'll open the application, and they were going to close at the end of this month, but we thought that people are still in art. I haven't finished unpacking my stuff from the last event, so maybe people are not thinking about it yet. So we gave it a few more days, and the applications for grants are now open until the 11th of November. How to go about it is, as we said to Clara, you register your artwork on Tribe, and then you apply for an art grant. and then we'll have a whole conversation around it. And any questions?
Yes, we have Skippers would like to ask a question. His hand is up.
Yes, Skippers. What don't you know?
Hi, what is that red swirly thing called?
It was quicker to build that than to give it a name. It's called the other thing.
Yeah, the other thing. Yeah.
Yes.
That thing. What was it called?
The other thing.
Yeah, the other thing. Yeah, that thing. That red swirly thing.
Yes, yeah. It's called the other thing.
I love your work.
All right, thank you very much, Skippers, for that. Is there any more questions for Art, for Issa and Michaela? I see nothing yet so far. Robert, can you put your video on so long? Otherwise, Issa and Michaela, is there anything else you'd like to talk about from Art side of things?
Yes. Well, first, I'm shocked that no one has questions. Second, if you do, please do send us an email to art@AfrikaBurn, because the truth is that there isn't actually like a one answer fits all. Each creative crew in each project has their own set of circumstances. So it's, yeah, just write to us, art@afrikaburn.com.
Great. Thank you very much. Then it's over to Robert and myself to speak about DMV. Robert, can you unmute yourself? I'm going to share screen so long while we're doing that. I hope it's still there. And let's see, sharing screen. There you are. So yes, while Robert hopefully he's coming on, I'm going to share my screen with this and talk about DMV. All right, so DMV, or mutant vehicles, is artwork that are on wheels, and as you can see, we will be. This is just a slideshow of mutant vehicles that we've registered before and on our Binnekring. So with registering a mutant vehicle like Art and like your Nati ticket and performance, you'll need to create a burner bio and log into your account there and create your project. Once you create a project, you can create a mutant vehicle registration through to your art and event or a performance piece, and fill in all the details you'd like to do in there. Now with mutant vehicles, it's a little bit different. Now you're moving art with people on there, so we're going to be asking a lot of information from you. Those that have registered mutant vehicles before, luckily we have a system where you just when you create your project, you reuse your application. But for those who are creating a new application, you'll need to go through the process of creating a collective, adding your participants or your friends into the collective, and then creating your mutant vehicle application after that. And all the information is going to be asking, all the form will be asking is things from who you are right through to who will be riding the mutant vehicle. Then what your mutant vehicle is made of is the base quad bike to a moving car, a sedan car, through to a truck, and does it have a trailer? And with that, there's a lot of guidelines that we put in there as PDF documents that you need to download and read those guidelines if you're going to be driving at night, right through to having flame effects, and if you're having a trailer, how to use how to get your friends to be conductors to make sure that everybody gets on and off safely and you move on to the next space. Other than that, yeah, mutant vehicles is a great place to create moving art. And as you can see through the slideshow, this is actually the trike, and there was Robert and Bo on there, and this was one of their favorite mutant vehicles. And that was a chopped up car and bike put together. And this one is a famous one. I think this is Death Ride. So you see that all those ones are great mutant vehicles, but they also had to go through a lot of things of checking if your flames are standard, which we'll be asking Charles Botma and Luke Atkinson for assistance there, right through to if you got loud system on your mutant vehicle, we need to consider now it's a sound. So we'll go through those guidelines in that application form. And again, like I said, trailer, make sure that you understand how to move with people in those trailers. And then again, and if you're driving at night, to be lit up. Okay. For me, that's my side of things for DMV. Registration, as for grants, they also open, and there we'll be asking quite a bit of information of what you'll be spending your grant on. So please be specific when it comes to the spreadsheet area. It could be you could be just like rounding up the petrol and materials on one side, but also speak about really what type of materials that you would be purchasing as well. And it would also be great if you can back that up with invoices. But we'll get into those proper things when grants are also allocated, and you will see the contract and what you need to supply there. Cool. Let me stop the presentation there. And let's see if there's any questions or suggestions from the audience. Chats, Brian. Oh, priority grants for electric vehicles, that is correct. So as we're hitting into a space of bringing into a, how can you call, a new era of moving vehicles. We got your petrol and diesel, but now we'd like to consider electrical vehicles as well. And like rightly said by Brian, we will be giving priority to electric vehicles, priority grants to those electric vehicles. Yes. Cool. Need to do this for a bicycle as well? So no, unless you have a bicycle that's got a motor on it, which is an electrical vehicle, then we'll ask you to register that vehicle. Just it's mainly for that we can understand what we have on the Binnekrung as moving vehicles, and that we can not so much logistics. It's I forget the word now, but we are covered for every moving vehicle on Binnekrung. Right. Phew, 18 minutes past 8. We still have 54 attendees. This is great. Oh, yes, Christian Fourie asking a question about meeting grant applications still closes end of October. Well, at the moment, it's we are taking on grants till then, yes, and then we are extending that for a while after the general sales has gone out, and we have a second round that ends at the end of January. But please like and subscribe our Facebook page on Department of Mutant Vehicles for AfrikaBurn, and you can get more information there. Otherwise, dmv@afrikaburn.com. And then as I'm doing that, it sounds like I'm wrapping up, which is correct. You are. Let's do so and say, listen, guys, thank you for coming through. Is there anything else from the crew that would like to say before we close this up? I see more nods and more no's than anything else.
Just a huge thank you for everyone who came along. And yeah, the info is your friend, and we'll do our best to help answer any questions you might have.
Yes, that is correct. All right.
At for information, tickets at, and art at, I think, and DMV at are the email addresses.
Yes. Oh, and one more thing, again, for volunteers, please check out, if you are into moving art, look up for the volunteer shift for registering vehicles at the event, as well as you know, the theme camps will most likely need volunteer assistance as well as art and things like that. But I guess that information will be coming out through comms in due course. Yeah.
Also, volunteer day on Saturday. There's a volunteer day on Saturday at AfrikaBurn headquarters.
Great, everybody.
In Cape Town, for those of you who would like to come. The details are all on the AfrikaBurn Facebook page.
Great. Okay. Awesome. Christian, I see your hand is still up. Okay, did we answer your question, or would you like to still talk? Oh, you lowered your hand. Excellent. I think we can close this off. I think this was successful. Well, I feel so. And again, email us, and you can always ask the questions through Facebook. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming through. And we see you in the dust. Ciao, ciao.